what's up everyone? Welcome to this video, this episode. I'm Jimbo, and today we're going to be talking about the Mark III polisher by Rupes. Now, for those of you that complain that I talk way too much and that these videos could be way shorter, I want to get into it right away with you. For those that are interested in a longer, more detailed video, you can hang around a little bit longer, and I will compare it from the Mark I to the Mark III. But if you're just looking for the Cliff Notes version of what's different in the Mark III compared to other polishers, let me run through that so this video for you could be under a minute. And again, for those of you interested in a little bit more detail, want to see a comparison, want to see it on a vehicle used, want to hear it, you can either skip ahead or watch the rest of the video. So I'll use the LHR 15 Mark III for the example. So, and again, much more detail if you watch the rest of this video. Longer cord, differing, more rubber added to the whole machine, including the top and these bumpers right here. Increased rubber on the speed dial. Also a bigger speed dial that is a horizontal versus a vertical, as you'll see against the Mark I. They moved the logo down and added this additional rubber strip for increased ergonomics. When you flip over to the speed dial not only has additional rubber for improved ergonomics as well, but it's also a variable speed trigger, so you can be on speed 6 going full speed with the trigger pulled all the way back, and if you need to feather it, you could kind of feather the trigger down, feather the machine down in speed without having to adjust the speed dial. Again, maybe saving time, but just another cool feature. Other than that, basically more rubber. There's no more power than the Mark II. There is 30% more power than the Mark I, and like I said, the 30-foot cord versus the 10-foot cord on the Mark I and Mark II. So that is the Cliff Notes version under 2 minutes. If you want to see a longer version, stick around and we'll dive deeper into the machines, comparing them to the Mark I, and you can make your decision whether you'd like to upgrade from there. One thing I forgot to add for those of you that want to only watch a 2-minute video and get the info as quickly as possible is Rupes and I teamed up and they allowed me to give away 25 pairs of their one-off Rupes sneakers, and maybe I'll put a picture up somewhere of the Rupes sneaker. So if you're interested, they're completely free just for watching this channel. Dylan, thanks a lot for allowing me to give those away to my subscribers. All you need to do is leave a comment below this video with your email address and shoe size, and the first 25 people, it's going to be totally random, just the first 25 people that do it, you're going to get a free pair of sneakers directly from Rupes. I don't have them here because I told them to leave them at the warehouse and they'll ship out directly from the Rupes warehouse, but it's kind of just a nice gesture and a thank you for watching this video and for supporting the brand Rupes, I guess. So their idea, and I think it's just cool to be able to hook you guys up. So leave a comment below with your name and shoe size. I'll copy and paste that over to Dylan over at Rupes USA and get you your free pair of shoes. Okay, so for those that have stuck around and want to see these features in a little bit more detail, I have the Rupes Mark I. So this is pre-Mark II, but there's so many things that are similar to the Mark I, or excuse me, so many things that are similar to the Mark II that are like the Mark I. I just decided to use the Mark I because there's a few damaged things that I want to show you that got addressed in the Mark III. So from the Mark I to the Mark II, the main selling argument or point was that it was had 30% more power than the Mark I. The Mark III holds that standard with the 30% more power than the Mark I, but there is no increase in power from the Mark II. What is different is a few things. So we'll start down here. There is a much longer cord. In fact, it's a 30-foot cord instead of the, I actually don't know what size cord is on the Mark I and Mark II, but the Mark III has a 30-foot cord, which is nice. Actually, the Porter cable I have has a longer cord than the normal 74-24, and the point for that is that you're not getting a reduction of power through a extension cord from the wall. You're able to kind of plug in directly to the wall and make sure you're getting all that power. So up from there, we see a difference in the speed dial. So this speed dial here is a lot bigger. Actually has some like rubber stops, so it's a little bit, you have a little bit more control in it, and it's the numbers are also a different way. You can see on the Mark 1 the number dial, or the speed dial, speed control rather, is the numbers are horizontal. On this one they're vertical, much bigger. And also actually work in the direction, make it a little bit easier to see. And I think when I have watched the videos and talked to the Rupes guys, whether that be at SEMA or online, the Mark III, the biggest difference in the Mark III from the Mark II, and I think that's going to be what a lot of questions come in play, considering there's only been a year difference in them, is that the ergonomics of this. So the features of the Mark III differ from the Mark II, and they're kind of just those nice to have features. So again, if you're upgrading from the Mark 1, say your Mark 1 is getting old and tired, you may want to skip the 2 to go to the 3, whereas if you have the 2, you may not want to jump to the 3 unless you got extra money. So speed dial is different than on the Mark 1. If we turn it sideways real quick, we'll be able to see how much bigger, let's see how I can do this with the camera, how much bigger the trigger is. So not only is it bigger, and these are both the 15s with the 5-inch backing plate, not only is the trigger bigger, it has a nice little rubber grip here, again similar to the speed dial, unlike the Mark 1 that is just straight plastic and can get slippery. Same noise. And then this is also the main upgrade from the Mark III, from the Mark II to the Mark III, that is getting super confusing, is it has this variable speed trigger. So it's not just, it has the soft start, of course, and we'll see that later if you hang out for the video. I'm going to be demoing it on a car. It has a soft start like all Rupes does, but you can kind of feather it down while say you're at full speed and you want to feather it down, say you're getting to a gnarly spot, you can kind of feather down the speed, if you will, without having to come back up to the top and adjust the speed dial. You could do that all within the trigger, so you can have full power, scale it back a little bit, and I will show you what that looks like when we get to the car. While we're on the side of the machine, the Rupes logo and this additional stripe. See, this cord's getting in the way. So you have the Rupes logo and this additional stripe, which is rubber, versus if you look on the Mark 1, there is not that stripe of rubber. Again, probably for improved just handling and ergonomics. Also, the Rupes logo on the Mark 1 is screen printed. Probably a good play to put it in rubber back there, because, and they also moved it down a little bit. A lot of people like to customize their Rupes, whether they wrap it in film or whatever, and thus it would cover up the Rupes logo. So from a branding standpoint, that's very smart to put it in rubber. You can't really cover this up. You can move it back. Obviously, you could change and still paint or wrap kind of this part of the machine, but the Rupes logo still stays true, which is, I think, smart from a branding standpoint. So from there, what else do we have? We have these stops. So these two rubber stops on the machine. Obviously, there's the speed control or graph, if you will, different from the Mark 1. That's also on the Mark II. What's not on the Mark II are these two stops. So when you lay the machine down, if you lay it flat on the surface, it will, not sure how well that camera will pick it up, but it'll rest, and you can see it's not going to slide anywhere, and it will rest right there on the ground. Also, not going to be scratching the machine at all. From there, I know I keep calling it plastic. It's rubber, not plastic. The body would be plastic. This is rubber. So continuing through with the rubber around the handle, up through here, the rubber behind here, the additional rubber on the speed handle, the rubber for the bumper gaps so you don't squash your machine. Also, they've changed this, which this is probably one of my favorite changes, that they went to a matte carbon look instead of the plastic fake carbon look, which you could see what starts to happen, and this is actually a pretty well worn machine, or lightly used rather, but you could see that on the Mark 1, this plastic piece, which obviously is replaceable, it does start to wear towards the top right there, and it will wear right around here and again here. Also, I think adding the rubber just makes the machine look a little bit nicer. In going with the theme of improved ergonomics, the slipperiness, and you really didn't realize this, and I don't think it was really an issue until the new ones have been released with the additional rubber. It doesn't feel slippery in your hand. However, when you compare it and contrast it to no rubber, it is a lot better of a feel to have the additional rubber in your hand. So that's that. The 30% more power from the Mark 1, but not the Mark 2. One concern I will state that I have, and it's really not that big of a deal, but I do wonder about, is the color of the rubber. Now, I think it looks nice when it's sitting down, when it's on a shelf. When you pull it out of the package, it's very nice. What I'm concerned about is that this light color is going to wear and not be nice as it wears, especially if you have your hand up at the top. Often, what is this? Is the ink from the black going to wear out? Is this going to start discoloring or getting black? Or is it going to be something you have to clean? I do really like that matte carbon look. So, and I've been holding the 15 the whole time, but all the same things are true with the 21, which is right here as well. So I think it's a very nice upgrade, especially if you're going from the Mark 1 to the Mark 3. If you have the Mark 2, I'm not convinced that it's worth it to upgrade to the Mark 3 right away, unless you're just that type of person that likes to have the latest and greatest, and then at that point, of course, do what you wish. But I do feel like it's a significant upgrade from the Mark 1. Let's put it on the car and so you can hear it. I'm going to venture to say, and with playing with it at SEMA, the noise is about the same as the Mark 1. But let's put it out on the car and see what it looks like and sounds like. The one thing I've always loved about the Rupes machine that it seems like not many other companies can replicate is the smoothness of the machine while you're holding it, and has been kind of my gripe with a lot of other machines when using it. So I have the Rupes yellow pad on this. I did it on a few other areas of the car, and I'm not paint correcting this car. This is merely for fun. So what I want to demo now is the variable speed trigger. So, and what's nice about it is once you smear the panel on, so you'll hear the soft start, and then don't worry about the light and the paint correction or not, but I'm on speed 6, and what I want you to hear, I'll adjust the trigger up and down. So I'll go, that's full blast, and then if you get to a part you can feather it down. Notice I didn't change the speed control, but you could go lower and then you can pick right back up. Lower if you want, and then pick it right back up. So that to some people may be a really nice feature. Some people may not care, but again, you can take it down pretty. Let's go all the way to 1. So for all the way at 1, I mean, you could take it down, and I'm sure with a little bit of finessing, you could, I don't know why you would necessarily want to go this slow, but you could literally go super slow and then pick it up to that speed 1 right there. Again, drop it down if you had to, and that's about the slowest I can get it. And that is speed 6 full board, and you can see, I mean, the vibration on the machine is nothing. That's me doing it with one hand. And I mean, it just, I hope the camera can pick that up. We're barely getting any vibration on that, hardly any. So when you're polishing all day or for an extended amount of time, it's really frustrating if the machine is vibrating. But as you can see right here, it's already starting to get dirty. Just a little bit of time I've been playing with it.
You're talking about yourself.
Yeah, I'm talking about myself. I talk to my imaginary friend. And it does still have the trigger hold on the side if you want that. So that's the variable trigger speed control. That does come on the Rupes Rupes. It does come on their rotary machine, so it's the same trigger, and that's the main difference with the Mark III, is that variable trigger. Again, with the added rubber, and it is nice, and overall this machine, I've been very pleased with it. Obviously I've just had it not too long. As you can see, the noise, all machines are going to be loud. The noise isn't that big of a deal, and really with any machine across the board, the noise, unless it's really, really loud like it seems like the MT300 is, that's not as big of a deal, mainly because I usually have headphones in. That's not as big of a deal to me as the vibration of the tool. So if the tool is vibrating, that is extremely annoying. So the vibration can just kill your hands and kill everything. So and this just doesn't have it. So hopefully that I mean, a very, very incredibly smooth, and obviously the 21 with the 6-inch backing plate is picking up the most amount of surface area possible. So yeah, so that is the demo test. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know in the show notes below whether you're going to upgrade to the Mark III or not. And for those of you that have hung around to the end, Rupes gave me 25 pairs of their shoes to give away to you guys. So if you're interested in a completely free pair of Rupes shoes, he is going to send 25 pairs of shoes out to you. So actually do this. In the comments below, leave your email and your shoe size. And what I'm going to do is just copy and paste that, put it in a list, send it over to Dylan. The first 25 people to do that in the comments. But are you going to be upgrading to the Rupes Mark III? What do you like about it? What do you not like? What did you hope to see in a new machine from Rupes that they didn't do, or did they hit everything on the head? So let me know in the comments below. Hope you'll choose to subscribe to this channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.